Stephanie Shea, founder of the platform Rejected Religion, and in collaboration with the Center for the History of Hermetic Philosophies and Related Currents, known also as the HHP Centre, I'm here today at the University of Amsterdam to talk with Manon Hedenborg White. Dr. Hedenborg White is a guest researcher here at the university's HHP Centre and holds a PhD in the history of religions from Uppsala University in Sweden. Her doctoral dissertation has been published last year as a monograph by Oxford University Press titled The Eloquent Blood, the Goddess Babylon and the Construction of Femininities in Western Esotericism. In 2018, she obtained funding as principal investigator from the Swedish Research Council for the 3-year postdoctoral project called Power Through Closeness, Female Authority and Agency in a Male-Led New Religion. She is currently a postdoctoral research fellow at Södertörn University in Sweden, is review editor of the International Journal for the Study of New Religions, and is editor of Correspondences, Journal for the Study of Esotericism. Her research interests include British occultist Aleister Crowley, his religion Thelema and its later reception, ethnographic approaches to the study of esotericism, as well as issues of gender and sexuality in Western esotericism, occultism, and contemporary spirituality. An impressive list of activities, to be sure, but recently added to this list is co-director of the Esotericism, Gender, and Sexuality Network, or in short, ESOGEN. That is a thematic network under the umbrella of the European Society for the Study of Western Esotericism, otherwise known as ESWE, located here in Amsterdam. And it is on this point that I'd like to start our interview today. So welcome, Manon. Thank you for being here today with me to talk a little bit about what you're doing.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're very welcome. So I'd like to start by asking, what was the motivation behind the creation of the ESOGEN network? And what is its goal, or are the goals of the network? If you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. So this all started as a joint endeavor, from a joint discussion really between myself and the other director of ESOGEN, who's Christine Ferguson, who's a professor of English literature at the University of Stirling in the UK. And what we wanted to do was, if you look at the history of Western esotericism, going back all the way to late antiquity, we can see that ideas about gender and sexuality fundamentally have been important to who's been involved in esotericism, who has gravitated towards specific currents, why certain people, why men and women have taken on different roles. You can also see erotic or sexual imagery is something that's been really important to various esoteric currents historically, alchemy, of course, being a really central example. And also how esotericists have been involved in different ways in challenging and subverting dominant perceptions of gender and sexuality, and trying to create new ways of understanding and relating to these issues. So we see the history of esotericism intertwining in these really fundamental ways with the history of alternative views of gender nonconformity, of utopian visions of reformulating sexuality, of celibacy, of free love, of polyamory, of the feminist movement, of eugenics, of all these different things. And I mean, the study of Western esotericism as an academic field is quite new, so there are obviously going to be some gaps in the research that we have. And there have been in recent decades some really amazing scholarly interventions in the area of esotericism, gender and sexuality, but we felt that there's still quite a lot to be done in kind of advancing the conversation about these issues. So we wanted to create an interdisciplinary platform for idea exchange and in the long-term research collaboration around these themes, and connecting both senior and junior scholars from a variety of disciplinary backgrounds working on this, because I think it's really vital to bring in different areas of expertise, scholars working with different types of material, with religious material, with art history, with literature studies, with ritual studies, with anthropology, like being able to draw on all of these different competencies is something that we see as really important. And I think from that, our ambition is in the long term that we're going to be able to create kind of a starting point for new research and for new publications and projects.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds amazing. So very interested to follow this, to see where it all leads.
Mm-hmm.
What types of activities or events will ESOGEN Network be promoting or organizing?
Mm. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is this event that we're calling the ESOGEN Symposium, Esotericism, Gender and Sexuality, which is a one-day international graduate student symposium geared towards MA and PhD students, happening here at the University of Amsterdam. So that's April 16th, 2020.
Yeah.
That is the first thing that we're going to be doing. And after that, we are hoping to, there are other plans for larger scale conferences and workshop series in the pipeline as well. We're also hoping to produce joint publications looking at this in a little longer perspective, and ultimately also funding bids around this area with involving different scholars, hopefully from different countries, different disciplines working together.
Right. So with regards to the upcoming symposium on the 16th of April, can you talk about a little bit more about the presenters and what type? Well, you have a theme, of course, but what are the presenters going to be talking about in kind of in a nutshell of the different diverse areas that people can be talking about this theme of gender and sexuality and esotericism?
Yeah, definitely. So we got a really good response, and we intentionally kept the theme really broad. I mean, it's basically the theme of the network. It's just esotericism, gender and sexuality, all time periods, all different types of material, because we wanted to source interest as widely as possible. But with that being said, we are going to be having thematic sessions organised around different focal points. So there's going to be one on queer and transgender issues, primarily focusing on contemporary esoteric currents. There's going to be a session on female agency, female leadership in modern esotericism as well. And there's also going to be a panel on sexuality and kind of eugenics and visions for creating the perfect human being in different ways, you could say. Both modern and pre-modern material. So we've got kind of a diversity of different areas. We've got everything from pre-modern, early modern Kabbalah to contemporary queer and trans esotericism, other than human identities, and everything from anthroposophy to grimoires to like Ariosophy to various other things. So I think there's going to be a real spread of different topics, and it's going to be interesting to see kind of what comes out of that.
Sounds like it's very broad, but a little bit for anyone who's interested in any of these topics. It's like a little bit for everyone.
Yeah.